Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. The title for our video today is Mega Goal 5 pages 88 plus 89. أول نقطة في الدرس اليوم number 8 reading. Before reading قبل القراءة. In what ways do you think men and women communicate differently? بأي طرق تعتقد أن الرجال والنساء يتواصلون بشكل مختلف؟ The answers الإجابات number 1 أو أول إجابة. طبعا تقدر تختار أي إجابة من الإجابات الحالية. أول إجابة Men use fewer facial expressions than women. يستخدم الرجال تعبيرات وجه أقل من النساء. Men often prefer face-to-face communication. غالبا ما يفضل الرجال التواصل وجها لوجه. Women are usually comfortable speaking with someone side by side. عادة ما تشعر النساء بالراحة عند التحدث مع شخص جنبا إلى جنب. Women use more direct eye contact. تستخدم النساء غالبا الاتصال المباشر بالأعين.
Pages 88 and 89. 8. Reading.
Do men and women speak the same language? The difference in the ways that men and women communicate has been the subject of countless books, magazine articles, talk show discussions, and jokes. These differences can sometimes make men and women seem mysterious to each other, and can occasionally make communication difficult and confusing. People often jokingly say that men and women are from different planets, or that they are different species. But just what are these communication differences, and what is their cause? One basic reason men and women have such different ways of communicating is that they see the purpose of communication differently. Research shows that women use communication as a way of growing closer to people and establishing intimate relationships. Women tend to use language to share thoughts and feelings and to be supportive. Meanwhile, men tend to see the goal of communication as accomplishing a task. Men most often use language to persuade, argue, convey facts, and demonstrate knowledge. Although men do not tend to use communication to achieve closeness, they have their own way of bonding. In one study, 75% of the men surveyed said that their most meaningful experiences with friends came not through talking, but through shared activities. In a related study, researchers found that fathers tend to show affection to sons by helping them with tasks and challenges. Javier Morales' experiences certainly support this idea. Says Morales, "My dad and I are really close, but I wouldn't say we talk very much. We spend a lot of time together doing things. We spent all of last Saturday repairing my car, and this week we're going hiking together. My dad and I have a deep bond. Just because we're not talking doesn't mean we're not sharing important time together." The content of what males and females talk about tends to be different as well. Researcher Deborah Tannen has found that while feminine talk tends to focus on feelings, relationships, and people, masculine talk tends to focus on sports, the economy, and facts. Women talk to explore problems, but men do not. Instead, men talk to fix problems. This can sometimes cause problems in communication. Janet West, a freshman in college, remembers encountering this issue recently. "I told my brother Derek about a problem I was having with my studies. He immediately came up with possible solutions to the problem. Being told how to fix the problem was kind of frustrating because it wasn't what I was looking for. I asked him to stop trying to fix the problem and try talking with me about it instead. He seemed completely confused and said, 'Why bother talking about a problem unless you're trying to find a solution to it?'" Another way in which men and women differ is in the way they listen. Research has shown that men tend to place all of their attention on one thing at a time, but women do not. Instead, women commonly divide their attention between a number of things at once and make connections between these different things. Since this comes so easily to women, they are sometimes frustrated when men struggle to do this. For example, a common complaint among women is that when a man is watching television, he often doesn't hear a question asked by the person sitting right beside him. Sakura Kumi has witnessed this many times in her house. Sakura says, My mother used to get so frustrated trying to get my father's attention while he was watching TV, and I did too. So she got into the habit of standing in front of the TV and saying, "Hiroshi, I'm about to ask you a question." It's become sort of a family joke. Research has shown that these communication differences can be partially explained by the different ways in which the male and female brains are structured and wired. For example, the left side of the brain, where logic and literal thinking are processed, tends to be stronger in men. Meanwhile, women tend to think with the right side, which is where comprehension is processed. The female brain also has more connections between the right and left sides, so their thought process is likely to be more complex. Research has also shown that the different ways that boys and girls are raised has a significant impact on how they communicate. Girls are raised to recognize and be sensitive to the feelings of others. On the other hand, boys are taught to be more direct and goal-oriented. Being raised in such different ways is bound to create two different styles of communication. While the differences in the way men and women communicate can sometimes cause confusion, these differences are also what help maintain a balance in communication. It ensures that a variety of topics and viewpoints are explored, feelings are expressed, and problems are discussed and solved. This balance is what makes communication so rich and interesting.
الحين ننتقل after reading answer the questions أجب على الأسئلة. Number 1. What do women see as the purpose of communication? What about men? ما الذي تراه النساء كهدف بالتواصل؟ ماذا عن الرجال؟ Number 2. How are men most likely to bond with others? كيف على الأغلب يرتبط الرجال بالآخرين؟ Number 3. How does the content of men and women's talk tend to differ? كيف يميل محتوى حديث الرجال والنساء إلى الاختلاف؟ Number 4. How do men and women approach problems differently? كيف يتعامل الرجال والنساء مع المشاكل بشكل مختلف؟ Number 5. What causes men and women to communicate differently? ما الذي يجعل الرجال والنساء يتواصلون بشكل مختلف؟ The answers الإجابات. Number 1. Women see communication as a way of establishing intimacy. Men use communication to accomplish a task. ترى النساء التواصل كوسيلة لتأسيس العلاقات، أما الرجال يستخدمون التواصل لإنجاز المهام. Number 2. Men often bond through shared activities. غالبا ما يترابط الرجال من خلال الأنشطة المشتركة بينهم. Number 3. Men often talk about sports, the economy, and facts. Women often talk about feelings, relationships, and people. يتحدث الرجال غالبا عن الرياضة والاقتصاد والحقائق، أما النساء في كثير من الأحيان يتحدثن عن المشاعر والعلاقات والناس. Number 4. Women talk to explore problems, but men talk to solve problems. النساء يتحدثن لاستكشاف المشاكل، ولكن الرجال يتحدثون لحل المشاكل. Number 5. Male and female brains are wired differently, and men and women are raised to behave differently. عقول الذكور والإناث تعمل بشكل مختلف. عقل الرجال والنساء أيضا يتم تربيته على التصرف بشكل مختلف. الحين ننتقل number 9 speaking. Number 1. Work in pairs groups. Use the questionnaire to ask each other about the way you communicate with people. If you like, add your own questions. اعمل في أزواج أو مجموعات. استخدم الاستبيان الآتي لتسأل صديقك عن طريقة تواصله مع الناس. إذا كنت ترغب في ذلك قم بإضافة أسئلتك الخاصة، يعني الإجابات اللي بتكتبها هنا بتكون إجابات الشخص اللي أمامك أو اللي معك. Number 2. Compare answers with your classmates. Discuss individual preferences and your reasons. قارن الإجابات مع زملائك في الصف. ناقش تفضيلاتك الفردية مع أسبابك. Number 3. Find people in class that communicate in a way that is similar to the way you communicate. ابحث عن أشخاص في الفصل يتواصلون بالطريقة أو بطريقة مشابهة للطريقة التي تتواصل أنت بها. الحين نقرأ خانات الجدول. أول خانة do you talk about your problems؟ هل تتكلم عن مشاكلك؟ طبعا تقدر تقول yes I do نعم، أو no I don't لا. ثاني خانة do you share your feelings with others؟ هل تشارك مشاعرك مع الآخرين؟ yes or no. Number 3 أو ثالث خانة do you spend time with family friends without talking؟ هل تقضي وقتك مع العائلة والأصدقاء بدون التحدث؟ حط إجابتك الخاصة yes or no. Number 4 أو الخانة الرابعة do you talk while you are doing something AJ fixing something playing a game؟ هل تتحدث أثناء قيامك بشيء ما؟ على سبيل المثال إصلاح شيء ما أو لعب لعبة وما إلى ذلك. Which of these topics do you enjoy talking about? Circle. أي من هذه المواضيع أنت تحب التحدث عنها؟ ضع دائرة حول إجابتك. أول خانة أو نبدأ من اليسار فوق people you know أشخاص تعرفهم، people you don't know أشخاص لا تعرفهم، sports الرياضة، TV التلفاز، video games ألعاب الفيديو، books الكتب، clothes and accessories ملابس وإكسسوارات، travel السفر، holidays الإجازات، food الطعام، art الفن، cars السيارات، buildings المباني، news الأخبار، assignments المهام activities الأنشطة، shopping التسوق، gadgets الأدوات، computers الحواسيب، other شيء آخر. وبكذا نكون وصلنا لنهاية الفيديو. see you next time.